Like I have to physically be like, don't think, just sing this song and don't think about it. Because otherwise my voice will crack or I won't hit it properly. Like I'm always psyching myself out. It's so bad. And also every time I perform live, I'm like, why? Why did I make this song? Why? I'm like, why did I do this song?
Why did I
And
do this to myself? Yes.
I have bullied myself into learning new like notes and techniques. Because like I'll do it in the studio and I'm like, oh, that was fun. And then after that, like, touring comes along and I'm like, well, now you have to do that like 40 times.
Right. In the same
Like,
key. Yeah.
yes,
Live.
live. And I'm like, okay, well, I have to do it now. So I'm get on that and figure it out. So that's what I do. And
Oh
in
my
rehearsal,
gosh.
yeah, I always beat myself up after. I'm like, why? Why did I make this so
That's so,
complicated?
I've written so many songs like that where I do the same thing. And now listen, I'm a little older than you. And I have now, when I sit down to write, I'm like, Tara, don't do that to yourself. Just change the lyric to make it an open mouth vowel at least. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I tell my
yeah,
singers to do the same. I'm like, hey, write smart, set yourself up for future shows where
yeah.
you're not doing the same thing that you just
Yeah.
said.
It's,
That's so
yeah,
funny. Because listen, I mean, not that I'm sure you use much, but every singer to get to radio ready quality nowadays, they tune, they comp, they do all of the things,
yeah,
right? And so there's a safety net in that too. It's like, well, I can eke the note out and it's going to sound like I just soared it out, you know. But when live shows come, when artists can't hit the note, what they do is they lip sync that part, they use the sweetener track, and then they come back in again. And I hate that because even though it fools the mass populace, like it's still like kind of it just kind of like makes me sad. Like the days of like Jackson 5 or like singing straight
yeah,
through are kind of really gone. They've been gone for a while, but at least come on, can we please keep the live shows live,
for
you
sure,
know?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I love that you do and that you're like beating yourself up over writing such hard songs.
Yeah, and actually though, it's weird because something like after this tour, things that used to scare me, like I don't know if it's is it a G5 or a D, like a G,
It would
like in my
be Yeah, it would be a G5 for you too.
yeah, so like in minefields, that note that would scare me now, it doesn't scare me. But like I would literally like 2 years ago be like, I would never be able to do that. And that was another thing where I when I wrote that song and I was recording it, the producer, I was just like riffing at the end because we were just adding the final ad libs and stuff.
Sure.
And I didn't quite go up there. And he was like, no, you have to go like up there. And I was like, I can't do that. And he was like, no, you absolutely can. And he was just like, we were going back and forth. And I spent all night trying to like learn how to sing that note. And it would scare me. I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, but now after doing it so many times, it's like muscle memory. I'm like comfortable with it. So I'm like, what's next? Like, what's the next challenge, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, let's go, right? Good. How long when you write a song does it usually take you from start to finish?
It really depends.
Okay. How about how it all works out? How long do you think that took you to write?
That one was about like 20 minutes.
Do you find
Yeah.
that it's always the shortest amount of time that equal the best songs?
I honestly think like if the for me personally, if the creativity doesn't strike in the first like 20 minutes, then that idea doesn't really work out for me.
I totally agree with you.
It always feels like it's like lacking something
Yep.
because I need to have like a verse pre-hook in the first like 20 or at least like the melodies or the concept or something like the main vibe. Otherwise,
It's
that idea.
forced. And speaking of all of your capabilities, let's shift gears here for a second because you're not just actually like an uber talented musician, singer, songwriter. You actually are super smart. You're like kind of a nerd, right? And you're going to school for engineering. Is that true?
Yeah, so I actually took I think 3 years of engineering, and I took a couple years off. No, I took a year and a half off to tour
Saying,
and
yeah, mm-hmm.
to do like everything that I have to do. And I am just now figuring out a way. like signing up for distance classes so
Yeah.
I can do things while I'm on the go. Because even though it's been like a crazy year and a half, I miss like just like writing an essay or like doing something like that. So I
Oh,
know, I know. I was like, what? Who is talking? Like, why
yeah.
am I saying this right now?
Who
But
are
I literally,
you?
yeah, I'm like, please let me into these distance classes. I'm like trying to like figure it out. I know. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but
But if you had to choose, like engineering or singing, what would you choose?
I would definitely, because like I love school, but I can't see myself in a world without music.
Yeah.
Like that's just it. Genuinely, people are like, you're not like what you do, like you're not your job. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like this is I was born with like music notes floating through like my bloodstream. Like it's not like it's really a part of me. And that's why I would definitely say music.
Yeah.
And even if I wasn't singing, like I could see myself being a songwriter or just like playing like I don't even know. Like I would find my way back to it, or poetry, or just writing. Like I have to be singing and writing.
And doing that. I love that. And you not only play piano, I mean, we touched on you play guitar, but you also play violin, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, when are we going to see that?
Okay. Again, the nails.
Hi.
From doing a lot of things.
Big
But
sacrifice for this beauty.
I'm saying because like I have really like little hands,
So do I.
so I
Midgets.
have to. I'm trying to like elongate them as much as possible,
Right.
so that the nails are there. But as I was saying, yeah, I do love playing the violin, and I took lessons for I took lessons for 4 years, and that one was a little funny because I didn't take it like regular piano lessons where I had my books, I had my exams, whatever.
Yeah.
I just learned how to play by ear. So
Mm,
that was the first instrument I did that with, and my
interesting.
teacher, yeah, it was like a really interesting setup. So my teacher would play the pieces and I would follow, like I would hear and I would follow along. And I would actually do that a lot with my piano teacher as well, which I don't really talk about much. But I remember she would like put a piece in front of me and I would be like, can you play that once or twice? And I would wait for her to play it and I would memorize some of the play like the parts and I would play it
Yeah.
by ear. Because I can play by ear really well, but I suck at
Of
reading.
course you
Like
do. You're the
I
same. You're the same as me. 100%.
no,
Just play it twice, please, because I don't want to look at all those notes. It's so much
no,
easier to just,
literally.
yeah. What if there was a message that you could have your music that outlasts you say to humanity or even to just young people listening to your music, what would you want that message to be?
I think the main message that I would want people to take from my journey and from the journey that in my music is that you can stay true to who you are and your morals and what you want to do in your life and not like conform to what other people think that you should be and still feel as though you are successful and reaching new heights in a pathway that might not have been like accessed before. And I feel like especially people in this industry, they come in and they're like, okay, I have to be this certain way, I have to dress this certain way, I have to sing about this, I have to sing about that so that I can see success. And although it is slower and more gradual when you do things in a way that are true to yourself, you will never look back and regret anything you've done. And you're always going to say, you know what, I did this on my own terms. And that's what I want, the younger people that, are listening to my music and might take something from my journey. I hope that's what they take. And I think last of all, I always just want to push my voice to new heights. And I want to really integrate like Arabic world in the pop world, and I hope that I can leave my mark in that place.
Well, I think you already have, first of all. Second of all, that's why I wanted you on this podcast, was because I somehow knew that that was your why. And even that is evident in your, to me, and this is just my perspective on music today, is that people are so desperate to be famous and to be heard because at the end of the day, humanity is ingrained to want to matter. Every person wants to matter. And a lot of people are just so willing to do pretty much anything in order to
Mhm.
feel like they matter and in order for their voice to be heard. And I do believe that there are artists like you. There's not many, but there are a few that are rising up and saying, yeah, but I'm just going to sing anyway on my terms. And whoever wants to listen, whoever is hungry for something like real and authentic and not contrived to go viral or to be trendy, like here I am, and have a listen if you'd like. And there is a market for that. And there are so many people that are hungry for that. From someone who listens to music for a living all day long and who trains voices for a living all day long, I am so grateful to artists like you who are kind of like that beacon of vocal light shining out in the darkness of the music industry saying, hey, you can be authentic, you can be morally sound, you don't have to sell sex, you don't have to water your artistry down, you can make musically complicated songs that are worth theoretically even listening to, not just for the song, and learn something and enjoy it. So thank you, first of all, for that. Like, really, thank you.
Thank you for listening. And
Yeah.
it without someone like you listening, like there wouldn't be anyone understanding. So I really appreciate you and thank you. Yeah.